possibly coming by. We don't know.
We
Just
never do.
yeah,
Right.
um,
This is sort of a improvisational show.
yeah.
It's
People can show up late, or people can um, just message me if you want to come on.
yeah,
Um,
or hit up our comments
yeah.
if you are watching this, which I see no reason why you wouldn't be because
Hey,
you're
Jason's
hearing
watching. All
this
right,
right now. Oh, what's up, Jason? How are you?
Jason, tell people to come on.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna leave a comment to um, that people can come on if they want to.
Yeah. And we could riff and talk about the world around us.
Yeah.
Right. That's some cool stuff. Did you hear about that Gorilla Glue lady?
Um, I did, and my initial reaction was like, uh, well, there's been so much just like heartache and pain over the past year that a story of someone going through unique pain, I was just sort of like, um, I found nothing funny about it, is what I'll say.
You couldn't find the humor in it.
Not really, no.
Really? I was thinking about, I mean, like, I just think the reason why that story took off is because she's super relatable. Like, she
Hmm.
fucked up in a really stupid way, but we've all done it.
Oh,
I
you for
mean,
sure.
I've tried to put Gorilla Glue in my hair. It's a balding, so I mean that's one approach,
I
right?
just read about it. I didn't see any interviews with her.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the interviews either. But apparently she's um uh, she's a viral star now because she thought Gorilla Glue was a hair product. See, I always thought it was a cannabis strain.
I've smoked that as well. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's very couchy.
it's actually the last time I got like paranoid was that.
Right. Okay. It actually makes you paranoid.
Well, so um, I was do Lex and I were doing shows on the road, and he had a bunch of it, and like we were just smoking out of a one hitter.
Uh-huh.
So it was just like we were partaking in like just bits of weed. You know what I mean?
Right. Just little hits. Just
Yeah.
little puffs here
And
and
then
there.
we stayed with some friends in Charlotte, and they broke out a bowl, and I smoked from a bowl, and it was just like I started to freak out a little bit.
Oh man, that
I made
sucks.
I made my friend put his hand up the back of my shirt so he could feel how sweaty I was feeling. I was like,
That's
Alan,
pretty
please just
funny.
touch me and find and just verify how sweaty I am. It's weird, right?
Yeah, no, that is super weird. I
Yeah.
mean, because you needed to confirm that you were actually that sweaty.
Right, right.
And in order to do that, you need somebody with a drier hand
Of course.
to
Yeah.
touch you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Because your own hand is kind of sweaty. You can't really confirm how sweaty you are.
I can't remember if he did or not.
You can't remember.
No, no, no.
I bet he did.
But he was a good host about like just chilling me out.
It seems like the kind of thing he would do.
Yeah.
Not knowing this person whatsoever, I feel qualified to say that.
Yeah. Um, it's funny when you're going through one of those episodes and just laying down is what you need. I feel like
Yeah, sometimes.
why do you forget to lay down?
Yeah, what I do is I like to lay down and read something that I've read before,
Hmm.
something that's like comforting as opposed to like scary new information or just something that won't surprise you.
Oh yeah.
But you can focus your brain on it. That always helped me.
You know what movie I sometimes watch when I can't fall asleep? It's a very weird one. I watched Mad Max. If I can't,
Mad Max,
yeah,
the first one or
the
the new
first one,
one?
the first
Okay,
one.
the original Mad Max. I
Yeah,
get it. That movie put me to sleep as well.
maybe it's the car engines does has like an ASMR effect or something.
Huh. Yeah, because a lot of people have a very easy time sleeping in the car.
Yeah, It's a violent movie.
It is a violent movie,
Yeah.
but I think it's really easy to tune out violence in this world now. I
Right.
mean, I fall asleep to action movies pretty much every night.
Mm.
It doesn't even phase me. In fact, the sound of a gun is quite comforting.
Uh,
Right. It's soothing. That's real ASMR right there. It's just the
yeah.
sound of machine guns and Harrison Ford yelling and shit like that.
Hmm.
That's what I go to sleep to.
Um, there's a lot of like 70s and 80s kung fu movies on Netflix that I'll watch.
Really? Which ones?
Like The Flying Guillotine or like Return of the Shaolin Monks. It's all like stuff like that. But once you watch one, they start like throwing other ones up at you.
Yeah. And I are you a big kung fu guy? Do you like those movies?
I didn't grow up liking a bunch of kung fu. I grew up liking Bruce Lee. Um,
Well, Bruce Lee is.
yeah, but not really kung fu movies. But I think it appeals to just sort of like the cheap, low budget uh, um, fascination I have with certain films.
Yeah, I do love B movies. I bet
Yeah.
you're a big Sam Raimi fan as well.
Uh, yeah. Well, definitely Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Yeah, those are great.
Um, but like a lot of Mystery Science Theater when I was a kid.
I never watched that until it was on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but I checked it out and my exact reaction was, man, I would have loved this when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. It was mind
Right.
blowing that they were. It felt like TV being irreverent to TV or something.
Yeah, it felt super postmodern and
Yeah.
90s.
Um, I can remember being at a friend's house and seeing it for the first time because like his dad just like flipped was flipping channels and was like, "Oh, what's this?" And we were all mesmerized at like the weirdness of it. I don't know. I think it's just clever.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's how I felt about the Twilight Zone.
Oh,
Um,
the original ones.
the original ones
Yeah.
totally blew my mind as a kid,
Mm.
right? Because they all felt so deep and smart. You know,
Oh yeah.
I had never seen anything like that that was so like intelligently phrased and crafted. The only shows I had been allowed to watch at that point were like kid shows, which are
Oh.
deliberately incredibly stupid. Um,
Right.
which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
We should be holding our children's entertainment to the highest standards instead of the lowest. But that's
That's right.
unfortunately not how it works, except when Pixar is involved.
Everything should be Mr. Rogers, or there should be
Everything
more.
everything should be Pixar or the good Disney movies or Mr. Rogers,
Yeah.
right? None of that fucking like minion bullshit. Um, I don't really care for the minions.
did
That's my
you
hot take.
did you happen to watch the Mr. Rogers documentary that came out a
I
few years ago?
did. I watched the Mr. Rogers documentary and also the Tom Hanks movie.
I I haven't seen that one, but when I saw the documentary, I remember thinking like, "Oh, how come life isn't better?"
Yeah. Because Mr. Rogers' relentless positivity was so inspiring.
Right.
And the reason why that movie made me really sad, and I think it made a lot of people sad because he's so earnest and beautiful as a human,
Hmm.
right? But I'm thinking, like, God damn it, why can't I ever possibly be 1% less cynical than I am now?
Oh yeah.
Uh, Compared to Mr. Rogers, I've got no chance of that kind of like optimism.
Yeah.
And he was also probably wrong about a lot of things. Like, you are special. Are you though? Maybe not.
Right. Well, I remember thinking that like his show reached so many kids, but somehow some of those kids grew up to be rotten adults.
Yeah. But some of them probably grew up to be great adults.
Yeah, that's a better way to look at it.
I wonder if they've done any studies like this.
Oh,
To see like if you watched Mr. Rogers as a child, did you turn out to be a wholesome adult, or were you still a piece of shit?
right.
Like we need to be able to calculate precisely how many children Mr. Rogers failed.
Yeah. That should have been the post, the sort of like um the epilogue of the film.
They did a little of that
Uh,
at the end. You remember at the very end where they show like Fox News um, doing that anti Mister Rogers segment.
no, I don't
No,
remember
it was so funny. It was like after they spent an hour and a half talking about how wholesome and caring this man was,
that.
and
Right.
then they cut to the Fox News, and they were like, "Mr. Rogers is an evil man because he tells kids that they're special, and
Uh,
they're not special." And I just said that ironically as a joke, but Fox News was doing it as news, and they were
right.
doing Mr. Rogers that evil man.
Weird.
So yeah, like the movie kind of did like allow itself to subvert that image just a little bit. Um, but it also made Fox News look really dumb,
Hmm.
um, which, to be fair, is not difficult.
Right. Um, they're getting. Did they get sued about uh screwing up the election coverage or something like that, or being misleading?
No, I don't think they actually got sued. I think what happened was is a lot of the news organizations um, that were like posting information that the election was invalid and airing that kind of stuff. They were
Uh-huh.
threatened with like a massive lawsuit
Uh,
by the companies that like the voting companies, the
uh,
voting machine companies, that these news organizations were attacking. Because they were basically implying that they were switching thousands of votes like on purpose, and they're like,
right.
"Well, you can't say that." Um, so we're going to sue you. And then they all had to back off
Uh,
because it's not something that they could, in fact, prove. It's what we call slander,
uh,
which is not allowed, or it's
yeah.
actually libel because they're news, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I'm not a
I've,
law
I've, I
guy.
used to know the difference between those two. I forget.
Well, according to Spider Man, the Sam Raimi movie, slander is when you say it, when you speak it. In print, it's libel. But I think
Oh.
that news like actually counts as print
Hmm.
because it's news, which is
Yeah.
what print meant back when they made the libel laws.
Yeah.
So I think if you get on the news and you defame someone, then you could get hit with a libel thing.
Well, even though it's news on the TV, they still have that ticker at the bottom. That's printed. Those were words that were printed on the screen.
That's
So
true.
it
So
counts.
that's print as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give that a thumbs up.
good stuff. I'm
um,
glad. I'm glad you approve. Don Don said the lawsuit is still on.
oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I need to probably make that clear more often that I don't know what I'm talking about. Occasionally I do, and usually it's when I'm wearing a suit and being all I know what I'm talking about. But when I'm just saying things like this, I can't promise I'll be telling you the truth at any point. I can't
Oh,
hear you.
I wonder if what's gonna happen with that. That was my only comment.
Oh,
Yeah, I have nothing, no insight. Just I wonder what's gonna happen. Um, on the show that we did this past Saturday, it was a fun show, but there was one point where we were just talking about stuff and brainstorming things, and we got talking about a business idea where I would call up you say you would hire me and I would call up your parents and let them just say, hey, you don't know me, but I'm a friend of Pip's and I just want you to know he's a very great person and
oh,
I think you should be proud of him. So that's all it is me calling up people's parents and saying you should be proud of your kid.
that is an amazing amazing business idea.
Yeah. I think people would pay for it,
I
but
would.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only flaw I could see in that is eventually people would become accustomed to getting calls like that and they'd be able to tell that this was some
Hmm.
organization.
It would take a while.
Yeah, it would take some time.
Uh,
But I would definitely invest in that sort of company. That's a good idea.
well, I might maybe I'll post on Facebook that I'm willing to do this if there are any takers to
Yeah, see if you could get anybody like a first customer, and that
yeah.
way you could get them to leave like a Yelp review, which is the foundation of all business now.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good idea.
Jason JQ says we can call it Stoner Morning Show's one ups, which I'm not sure where that comes from. Is it a pun or something? Do you get it?
One ups.
Yeah.
I don't think I get it. No,
Okay.
I guess because you're one upping the person.
Mm,
But is that what one upping means?
I don't know. I think one upping is if you do something cool and then I try to do something cooler.
Yeah, to get the better of somebody. That's a
Yeah.
one upping.
But we'll continue this discussion Saturday when Jason is on.
Yeah, we'll have to engage with Jason
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, and he just posted a mushroom, which now it's less clear as to what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
not sure.
Don wants to know what the cost is. That is what do you think would be a fair price for that service? It definitely has to be tiered where it's just like
Well, the way
less is like a short call, and if you pay more, you get a lengthier thing, I guess.
I see it, I think that it depends on who you think your direct competitors are. And I think it's probably like flowers. Um, like somebody who would want to send a dozen roses to their moms would instead send this message.
Oh yeah.
So it should be roughly the same price. Maybe $20 or so.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. What I like about it is that it positively affects all people involved,
Right.
unless this child is actually no good. But but I think
Yeah, then it's just a con.
yeah.
Like, if
Yeah,
I were to use your service, I would just be a liar. My folks
Yeah.
have no reason to be proud of me, which is how I want it.
Yeah, this isn't for con purposes. This is for legit. Because I think parents want to hear that, and I think the parents would probably, uh, I think if somebody called my dad to say, oh, "I'm a friend of Sean's and he's such a great person," my dad would definitely call me, and I think it would just be a nice conversation. Not that we don't have nice conversations, you know.
My dad would call me and be like, "How did this guy get my number? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you just giving out my number to your friends now?"
He wouldn't be at least just a little bit like,
No, he'd probably be super stoked if somebody reached out and said I was awesome.
yeah.
I'm only joking. I actually do think this is a great idea.
Yeah. I'll have to do some more brainstorm. I don't know if anybody who's watching has any ideas.
We could call it Stoner Morning Show's One Ups.
Yeah, we could.
I think we should call it that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, just because I don't get the joke.
Oh. He said one up like in Super Mario.
Like an extra life.
Yeah.
Is that what a one up is?
I guess. I'm not opposed to it. It doesn't make absolute sense to me, but I don't know. It has a good ring to it. Well, I think it's just us, but did you want to try one or two jokes?
Yeah, I mean that Gorilla Glue bit from
yeah.
earlier in the show was totally some jokes I'm workshopping. I do like the idea of like trying to use it as a hair restoration.
Uh,
I'm just trying to glue my hair back in. That's pretty funny. It's a good visual. What
I've
about you? You got any stuff?
No, I should. I should be the one who does like bring stuff, but I just never do.
You're not obligated to ever bring stuff,
Well, that's good. Thank you.
right?
I
I
should
mean,
be a good example, but
it's your show, and you'll do what you want.
yeah, I do write
Plus,
down. I do write down stuff. Oh, okay. Well, this is more of a brainstorm, which I guess that business idea is a brainstorm as well. But I feel like when once things open back up, I I think I'm gonna start practicing actual magic, where I will do a card trick for somebody, and then I will just be like, all right, well, I think your card was a three of diamonds, and I'm going to be wrong most of the time. But
right?
it will be mind blowing when I'm able to do it.
You'd have to do it like a whole bunch of times,
Sure.
but the times that you get it right, it is very impressive.
Yeah.
When you said I'm going to do actual magic, I really thought that you're coming out as like a wizard of some kind right now.
No, I mean
Um,
it's more of just sort of like the belief that magic does exist,
okay.
and I don't know how to do it, but I'm just going to try, and then maybe I'll get better at it.
I I think that you should try. I mean,
Yeah.
magic is if someone could do magic, I bet you're that person, Sean. I have total
How
faith
about
in you.
do you have pen and paper near you?
Oh, I've got paper. Why?
I want you to write down the card, and then I'm
Oh,
going to guess it.
can I write it on my phone?
That's fine.
Okay.
But I don't want this to be any sort of like this isn't cheating or anything. This is
I'm writing it down.
okay.
All right. All right. It's written down.
Okay. Five of clubs. Hold that phone up.
Uh, Wait, hold on. Let me move it because I got to separate it from my grocery list.
Oh. Okay.
Uh, you see it?
Four of hearts. All right. Well, I
You-
was wrong suit and I was one card away, but
Right. No, that's remarkably close. You should be proud of yourself. You know,
Yeah.
if you had just gotten the suit right and been off by one, I think you were a magician.
I'm just proud of myself for trying.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a good approach to being a magician. You know, if more people did that, we definitely would have more wizards.
I knew I would get it wrong. I mean, there's no
Right.
way I would have. There's no way in the first attempt of me practicing actual magic. There's no way I would have gotten it right.
Right. Do you think that anybody could do actual magic?
Have you seen people post online recommendations for this Hulu show called In and of Itself?
I have not seen any of that. No.
I've had a bunch of like theater friends post about it. So it's on Hulu and it's a taped live performance of a live show that used to happen in New York, and it is pretty magical.
Okay.
Like he doesn't do magic tricks, but he kind of it's like a one person show, but it also is like a mentalist thing. It's really good.
Cool.
Um,
Does it really appear that he's doing something supernatural?
kind of, yeah.
So you believe this man has powers?
No, but I think people are more in tune to mystery than others. Some people are more in tune to like the mysteries of the universe than others.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I want to meet the person who could really just cast spells,
Oh, sure.
right? Or who could like do visible telepathy or something like that. You know.
I mean,
Um,
maybe people have. I don't know.
right. I'm sure it's possible. There's been a lot of people. You have to assume that with the billions and billions of people who have existed, at least a few of them have had some kind of supernatural ability. But I still haven't seen them.
Okay, this is breaking news. This just in.
What?
So Don, who is our biggest fan, he sent $20 to Stoner Morning Show and asked if I want his mom's phone number an hour later. So
Oh, we're gonna do this live.
no, I can't do it now because I want to do it legit. I don't know unless he wants me to do it live, but
We could do it live. You could write it right now, and we'll call his mom.
um, I'm actually, I mean, it would be funny to do it live now, but I feel like it would be a better phone call if I do it later. I don't know. We'll see what he says, but because I want to do it a legit. I might get too nervous if I do it on air, you know.
Oh no, I totally understand if you don't feel prepared. You should definitely have it be like a really heartfelt like message, right? Which is easy when it comes to Don because he's just actually delightful.
Right.
Right.
You know, the way to do it maybe would be for me to ask friends if they want me to do it, and then I say that I'll do it on Stoner Morning Show on Saturday. So they'll know that I'm doing it live, you know what I mean, and feel prepared. But that would be a good like commercial for the service.
I would agree. But you can't buy that kind of publicity like that the Stoner Morning Show gets you.
Right.
No, I definitely think it would be a good commercial though.
Yeah.
Don says we could do it now.
Oh.
So it's up to you, but
Okay.
I think that you're thinking that you want to really craft this and be prepared. I think that's a good idea.
Well, I'm gonna message him. Send me her number. I'm still. I mean, I'm. I don't. I'm guessing she's on the West Coast, so it's. Um, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Jason says craft it.
Craft it. Okay, we could write this right now, or at least you could come up with. I mean, what would you want your mom to hear about you?
Well, I mean, we know Don a little bit, and I can say that he is like a very encouraging person.
Right.
Like he's like sent nice messages to us behind the scenes, but then he's written nice things about us publicly.
A true sweetheart.
Yeah, very encouraging. Encouraging, and I'll also say responsible. Oh, he said don't do it now. All right, fine. But it's good that we're getting this out. He's responsible, and he's, you know, he says you're wasting it. No. This is good. It's good that I'm talking about it.
Yeah, this is writing. This is part of the process. We want to deliver you a truly exemplary product, and in order to do that, we really do need to take our time to prepare.
Sure. I can also say that he's like an impressive, like self-made individual. I think that's also very true.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is good stuff. I'm gonna. I'll do it off air, but then I'll talk about it on Saturday.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. All right. I've got some good notes. Don is what time zone is she in? I just don't want to call too late or anything like that. I'll call like Wednesday or Thursday. I'll do this Wednesday or Thursday.
So not Saturday.
No, but I'll talk about it on Saturday. And then maybe I'll even okay, she's on the West Coast. But then I'll talk about this on Saturday, but then I'll also perhaps line up some friends who I can do this live on Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you have some friends in mind already whose parents you really want to call?
No, but I'll post on Facebook, and I'll just ask who would want me to do this for them. But it's going to be live on the show.
That sounds awesome.
I think this will be better because I want to give Don a good service.
Yeah,
because he already paid.
Yeah.
She's from the
No.
Caribbean. Oh, she has a heavy accent. Oh, that's good. That's fine. But I think it'll be good to do it for real and practice it for real. And then Saturday when I do it on the show for other people, like I'll have one under my belt. So we'll still do it live. It'll just be better.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the show on Saturday now.
Yeah, it's the first time we've ever teased anything.
This has been a great commercial. We could tease something else. I'll do another big news segment if
Oh
y'all
yeah,
allow
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Um, I'll be talking about the current events in my way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a morning show. So did you guys ever think that you'd be talking about the news a lot?
Um, we have talked about the news, and sometimes we forget to talk about it.
You're not obligated, as I said.
Um,
That's
now Don is egging me on, saying we would go viral if I did it spontaneously. But I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to do it. Oh, he's also afraid of how she's going to respond. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be able to if I'm not on air. I think I'll be able to do it well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to do it well on air as well. But
Right.
for the first one, you should definitely do that off camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, okay. Well, that's good. But what else? What else should we do?
You mean on this show right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We could talk about other stuff that's going on. That Star Wars lady got canceled. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah. 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 That's a
Yeah,
funny. That's the best headline I've ever heard of. That Star Wars lady got canceled. That was funnier than any of the headlines I read anywhere.
I
I'm
mean, headlines do have the general obligation to be accurate and factual instead of just broad. That Star Wars lady, whose
Yeah.
name I will not remember, got
No.
canceled for saying things that I never looked up. But it's a story we could talk about.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'll say is that I didn't think she was a good performer on the show.
I don't remember her doing all that much. She just sort
Yeah.
of stood there and looked tough, right? That was her thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't like she was out acted by the guy who was constantly wearing a helmet, which is it's not a flattering portrait if you can't act with somebody who you literally can't use facial expressions.
Right, right.
Um,
She can legitimately fight though.
can she? She knows how to fight.
Yeah, I think she was like a MMA fighter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Hence the non-acting ability. She trained in a completely different thing.
that's seems like it's increasingly more common that that sort of thing happens.
Yeah. Do you watch MMA at all?
I watch the big fights, like
Yeah.
when people are talking about it and they're
Yeah.
like, so that guy Conor McGregor, I've seen
Oh,
his
yeah.
fights because he's the one everybody talks about.
I used to watch it more often.
Yeah, I like to watch boxing. Um,
Do you have a favorite Rocky movie?
probably depends on the mood. I think the first Rocky is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, I pop on that soundtrack once in a while if I need
it's a
it.
good soundtrack, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I think Rocky 4 is the most fun. But they all have something to bring to the table. Like Rocky 3's got Mr. T and Rocky 4's got everything
Yeah, yeah.
you could possibly want in a movie or a work of art.
I'm actually, I watched all of them recently, like within the last 2 years, and I can't stand Rocky 4.
Really?
I think it's too ridiculous.
It's so dumb. That's why
Yeah.
people like it. I think that honestly, it exists on a level where it's like even the people that love it don't think that it's good.
Yeah.
But it's just so freaking goofy and silly and 80s and very much Cold War propaganda. And it's kind of like a superhero movie before there were a lot of superhero movies.
It was that's I definitely got that feel when I rewatched it. I mean, I loved it as a kid,
Right. I
but
loved it as a kid.
yeah, you
Right.
know, back when we were taught to fear the Soviets.
Right. Where it intuitively made sense. And he was so evil in such a cold, detached Soviet way. I think he has like 5 lines the whole movie.
Right, right.
I must break you. If he dies, he dies. Um,
I mean, it's they became like, it seems trite to say it, but it's like meme worthy.
yeah. And
It
Rocky was always a little meme worthy because
yeah.
he's such a like a cartoonish kind of figure.
Yeah, but we're still talking about it is what I mean. Like they did
Yeah,
something that we are still dissecting.
that's true. And you can't say that about a lot of movies from
That's
1984.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. How about you, audience? What's your favorite Rocky movies?
Oh yeah, we should ask them. That's good.
Why don't you guys chime in?
Let me check on YouTube to see if
You have any
um
YouTube
just
comments?
Blue saying hey from Queens.
Jason says it's Rocky 2, which is a very respectable choice. I think Rocky 2 has the most satisfying conclusion. I remember watching that as a kid,
mhm.
and spoiler alert, Rocky wins that one. And just watching him go down to the wire with Apollo and having them both fall down at the same time, it was so exciting.
Oh yeah.
That's such a great ending to a movie.
Um Jay Cunis says, I don't know why I tried to type it. I could just I could just say it. But he said we should do a Rocky 4 cold read on air. And
Oh,
I
I
was going to
love it.
reply that we should do it, but I could just say, yeah, we definitely should. That sounds like a hilarious idea. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. You should do Rocky 4. And who would play who?
Oh, I mean, that might be Jason's call. That it's his baby. It sounds like.
All right, because uh, Jason says I the Tiger Pimp. Um, well, and Don Don's never seen a Rocky movie. Don
Oh, that's
Don,
he's not a movie guy.
not
He's
a
like
movie guy.
he's in his truck listening to music
Well,
or watching weird live stream shows. But the first Rocky is legitimately good.
yeah, it won Best Picture in 1976,
Yeah.
and it had some really good competition that year. Taxi Driver came out that year,
Oh yeah.
and Network. So some really good movies
Yeah.
lost out to Rocky that year.
I think Rocky is better than both of those.
Oh, that's an interesting. It's a good take.
Yeah.
I really like Taxi Driver. You talking to me? But I also really like Rocky. I think they're very different movies. Rocky is a lot more of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Um,
It's uplifting. That's why I like it.
yeah,
Network
it
is
makes you
not
feel
uplifting.
so good. Network does not make you feel good. Network makes you feel terrible and depressed and
Right.
mad as hell, and you're not going to take it anymore. But Rocky makes you feel really good at the end of it,
Yeah.
which is crazy because he loses the fight.
Do you know? But he wins love.
He wins the truth. We're spoiling all the Rocky movies for Don Don right now.
um, do you know the story of the guy that Rocky is based off of?
I do. I
Yeah.
have
Oh
heard
yeah.
about that
You
story.
have to know. You're Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Are you? Did you
Yeah.
grow up near Bayonne? Because that's where that guy is from.
No, but I have cousins in Bayonne.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to tell the story though? It's
Well,
a good story.
I saw a documentary about this guy, Chuck Wepner, a guy who fought Muhammad Ali and knocked him down. Didn't win, but it was like a triumph that he
Yeah.
went the distance. I think he went the distance with Muhammad Ali. That's what it was.
He actually did not go the distance.
Oh,
He
he
went
didn't. Oh.
he went like 14 or 15 rounds though, or something.
Oh,
He was right there.
yeah. And he knocked him
And
down.
he
But that's
was
all.
also a complete nobody against the greatest boxer that anybody had ever seen.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did knock him down.
It's a good
And
story.
he was kind of like this bum from Bayonne. They called him the Bayonne Bleeder.
Yeah,
Which is where they got Italian Stallion, which is what
yeah.
they call Rocky.
I actually
Um,
saw a documentary about this guy Chuck Wepner, and then there's a movie I think starring Liev Schreiber, that actor. There's a movie about him.
so they actually made a movie about the thing that the movie Rocky is based on.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he didn't have a great life afterwards. I mean,
No, most boxers don't.
yeah, a lot of ups and downs.
Right. That's one thing that's good about Rocky is it kind of acknowledges that in the movie. They're like, you gotta be a moron if you
Oh
want to
yeah,
be a fighter. You know what I mean? Which is like, I mean, there's really no good outcome because unless you're, even if you are Floyd Mayweather level of successful, you
right.
still have brain damage afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually.
You know,
Um,
Rocky is kind of the inverse of The Simpsons in that the Homer got dumber as the show went on, but Rocky did get smarter,
he did. He
even though
gets super intelligent by the third or
yeah,
fourth one.
yeah, even though he does have brain damage, which
Yeah.
exists in 5, but then somehow goes away.
Yeah, he just shakes that off.
Um,
Right.
I saw Rocky Balboa, the last one, in the theater with a friend. The friend who talked me down off of the bad being stoned in Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
I saw with that friend, and then we were pretty excited about it. But there was like applause breaks at like 4 points in the movie.
That's
I think
awesome though.
I know it
That's
was. I think it got a
that's
standing ovation at the end.
yeah, no, Rocky Balboa, that was a good time. I saw that in theaters too, and I think we had the same type of reaction.
Yeah,
Like people applauding when he knocks the guy down. That was it's a good movie. It was surprising how good it was, considering Stallone was like 90 when they shot it.
right.
And he's supposed to be fighting a young boxer in his prime. But Rocky movies never really had to make sense for that. I mean, his
Yeah.
fighting style is so ridiculous. He basically blocks all the punches with his face.
right.
He never really tries to dodge or block a punch, and he just like waits, it gets hit, and it goes in for these crazy ass haymakers that would never hit
Right.
because
Right.
he's probably half unconscious. But so actual boxing fans tend to not like Rocky so much because the boxing in it is so fake.
Hmm.
But I don't know. As a boxing fan, Rocky actually made me a boxing fan.
Ah.
It's what got me to get into boxing later.
Do you like the movie Slapshot? Do you know Slapshot?
I've never seen the movie Slapshot.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's the best hockey movie by far. I'll say that.
That's a pretty short list of great hockey movies.
I know it's true, but
What else
it
is
also,
on that list? The Mighty Ducks,
yeah.
Miracle.
What's like? I would put Slapshot above Major League.
Really?
Yeah,
Major League is a pretty great movie.
yeah.
Uh, I'm a baseball guy, really. I'm not a hockey guy, so that kind of comes
Okay.
into play there.
I'm not a hockey guy either, but Slapshot is hilarious.
Well, who's in Slapshot?
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman's pretty good.
He is, yeah. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Oh, that's tough. Oh man.
I like baseball movies too. They seem more like a baseball movie. You can do a magical baseball movie. You can't do like a magical football movie.
No, it's a lot harder. Baseball's a lot more poetic than football.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one is The Sandlot.
Oh, that is
Um,
good.
That's a good movie because it's not really about baseball as much as it's about being a kid in the summer of 1962.
Yeah.
Like most sports movies have like a big game at the end that they either win or barely lose.
Hmm.
But the Sandlot doesn't. They only play one game that's like official that they keep score at, and they kick ass. And the rest of the movie they just play baseball because that's what you do. You play
Yeah,
baseball.
yeah.
Which is a cool kind of subversion of the sports movie that you usually get,
Yeah.
which is always structured the same way with that big game at the end or the big fight that you almost lose but win miraculously.
Right.
Um,
Sandlot, that's a good pick. That's yeah. I don't think you can argue against that.
yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of good baseball movies.
Yeah. I remember thinking Moneyball was good, but I'll
I
probably
was
never.
about to say Moneyball.
I
Yeah,
don't,
but
I don't know if I'll ever rewatch it, but it is a fascinating sort of like
it was
different
good.
different sports movie where
Very different. It wasn't really about the games themselves. It was sort
yeah,
of about changing the system and challenging it.
yeah. There was a
Right.
big game at the end though, right? Did they win the
I
World Series?
I think they lost. Well, they did lose that year historically,
Oh
so that's
yeah,
not even a spoiler.
yeah,
But there kind of was a big game at the end that they do not win.
yeah.
But that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that they made the playoffs with no uh budget, with
Mm.
no money. And they did it by using math, which nobody had thought to do in baseball.
Yeah,
For the first 100 years, you had people keeping track of baseball in a way that didn't make any sense, right? Like batting average is almost a useless statistic if you think
right.
about it, because all it says is the percentage of hits that you get divided by the times you're at bat, right? Right, but that's like, if you think about it, that's like how many bills do you have in your wallet? You don't know anything about the quality of the bills. So if you have 20 bills in your wallet, you can have thousands of dollars or you can have 20 bucks. 20 singles are way less
Right.
valuable than 20 home runs. And they also don't factor in walks for no reason. So that's me being all baseball nerd on y'all.
Oh, no, that's
Um,
good.
but it's I do think that movie kind of illustrated that nobody was paying attention to baseball correctly for years and years.
Yeah.
Um, it's pretty cool stuff.
Um, Don points out that some boxers go on to have very successful lives after they retire.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want
Yeah.
to make any generalizations about
Yeah.
that.
Sorry for the generalization, audience.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just a sport like that has even worse numbers than football, which have pretty bad numbers in terms
Hmm.
of getting a traumatic brain injury that affects you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So lots of boxers, they're still successful, but the way they talk is like they've got a little bit of punch drunk.
Yeah.
There's usually something wrong with them. But it's true that also often they do lead very happy, successful lives.
Sugar Ray Leonard seems to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and some of them are. He's one of the
Still,
lucky ones for
still,
sure.
and still very handsome and like
Um,
young looking.
I think Mayweather's going to be fine because he spent his whole career avoiding getting hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll
Incredible,
probably-
incredibly effectively at not getting
yeah.
at not getting hit.
Smart
Right.
tactic.
It's an incredibly smart tactic. I think about that all the time. And obviously, Floyd Mayweather didn't invent the whole just being crazy good at moving
Right.
thing. But just like my logic, the way my brain would work is if you have to win a fight with someone, you want to get really big and strong and hit them really hard. Right. But
Yeah.
actually, avoiding getting hit is as effective as hitting someone really hard.
Yeah.
If you're really good at avoiding getting hit, you could still win that fight, especially if they're scoring the points, which is
Right.
what they do. They give you a point for every punch. I know this isn't accurate. The way boxing is scored is really confusing to me, actually.
Yeah.
But so Floyd Mayweather could just sort of dance around and get his hits in. and then win the fights that way. It's awesome stuff.
Hmm.
Very impressive.
Have you ever thought about taking a boxing class?
I have. Have you thought about that?
I've not thought of it. I've heard it's great.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
I've heard it's even great at like, it's supposed to be very good at like, if you want to lose weight, boxing is supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I could
Uh,
imagine. Um, yeah, I'll start taking classes again when gyms open up.
Oh yeah. Um, well, I'm sure I've said it before. Maybe I've definitely said it online, but resistance bands, that's what I'm doing.
Resistance
I may have
brands.
said that to you before.
I think
Yeah.
that you might have, but we could still talk about them. But
The-
I don't really know anything about resistance bands.
well, here's what I learned from a YouTube video, and it's that when you work, if you lift with a weight, you're still you're working muscle, but you can hold a weight here and really not do that much. You're not doing. You're just resting, you know. But
Right.
if you have a resistance band that it gives you tension when you're at here, like you're doing more work. You can't really hold it indefinitely because eventually
Right.
it's just going to snap back like that. So it's
That's
um
cool.
supposed to be very good for you.
Cool way to make your workout more efficient, I
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, I've just since COVID started, I've just been doing body weight stuff.
Uh,
Like, your push-ups, your pull-ups, your
oh yeah,
squats,
yeah.
planks, and crunches.
There's some
Right.
good YouTube videos of just like I forget what it's called, but it's like you're using your own. I mean, it's all that kind of stuff, but it's like you're using your own body as uh, isometrics or something. I forget.
Isometrics. Yeah, there's a million YouTube people who do, but I don't like watching those because they make me feel super fucking inadequate when they go
Uh,
through the whole workout and I could barely get through half of it. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go at my own pace.
yeah,
Um, right. I don't know how those YouTube people get there.
right. I did think about doing a series of workout videos, and which would be titled "Apologies in advance for when I fart," or "Apologies in advance for farting," because I'd
That's a good
probably
idea.
yeah, even if I legit fart or not, I would also just put in some like random fart noises.
For sure. All right. I mean that the random fart movie noises might help people motivate their own
Yeah, and
workouts.
it's also look like, hey, I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
You can watch someone who's good.
See, that's
Yeah,
that's exactly my point, right? When I'm watching those workout videos that are like 10 minutes and I can't get through the first three and I see
oh
the
yeah,
person on screen not even remotely struggling, I find it to be discouraging.
yeah,
But if there was like a person who's just like me on there who could barely do the workout, um I would find that inspiring. At least I could better than this guy. It
yeah,
would keep me going. So that's what I think workout videos are missing is really out of shape people to
yeah.
host them.
Uh,
Um
Jason just said that fart is censored on the cast. I think he's because it in real time um, puts closed captions on it.
uh-huh.
I guess it doesn't say. I guess it doesn't type out the word fart. Oh yeah, it just puts a bunch of question marks. Weird. You can't. It won't type fart. That's funny.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Good catch, JQ.
Yeah, what about other naughty words? Could we
Oh,
say
I mean, if it doesn't type out fart, it's not gonna.
so it's not going to type out fuck, for
No,
instance?
no.
Does it auto bleep it? Because that's what we really need.
I don't know if it auto bleeps it.
Like, I don't want, I mean, my grandkids are listening to this podcast and I don't want them to hear profanity. I mean,
Yeah, it gave question marks to fuck as well.
Oh, that's cool.
It'll type out dick, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How about
I
well,
can't believe they consider fart to be a
it's a
swear
little
word.
it's weird. I wonder if I say my dick, I wonder if it'll put question marks for that.
My dick.
Yeah.
Jason wants us to say dildo. Um,
Dildo.
I don't think we should just say dildo though. I think we should talk about dildos.
Uh,
Right? It should happen naturally.
oh yeah, yeah. I really don't have any dildo stories, to be honest.
Me, me neither. I mean, I don't own a dildo, but some of my girlfriends have, and they seem like really cool.
I think I've bought one.
I've never bought
I
one.
think.
I've never bought a sex toy for myself,
Hmm.
which I think is kind of sad.
Yeah,
It's like,
myself, I haven't felt the need that I've needed.
right. But I don't know what I would use a dildo for other than for me. I mean, I think
Conversation
it
piece.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, we're about at the end. Hey,
Oh,
everyone. Sorry we didn't have guests. People said they were going to be here. Have you ever farted with a dildo?
have you
Yes, Jason.
that's an interesting question because I don't understand it at all. How do you fart?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you fart with a dildo? What does that mean?
I guess if you have ever just been in the presence of a
Maybe
dildo and
maybe maybe you currently have a dildo
mm-hmm.
and it's wedged inside of you
Mm,
and then you fart.
yeah.
That's I don't even know if that's physically possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if your butthole is opened up too much, I don't think it's possible to fart.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say some people can fart with them and some people can't. I'm sure it's a little of everything.
Yeah, that's
That's my
probably accurate.
yeah.
All right.
Well, we have 3 minutes left, but I mean,
I don't really have anything else to say.
yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I mean,
Follow me on Twitter.
oh yeah. You've been-
At Pip the Comic. I'm very funny. And Sean, you're also on Twitter. You could plug your Twitter.
Sure, it's Schwickens, which isn't.
Schwickens.
It's funny to say, but it's probably not very memorable for when people, hear it and then remember it and then go to Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I
Probably-
remembered it. That's how I managed to follow you on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, all
Yeah.
right. Good night, everybody.
Wow, a lot of comments. This is a lively one, but
Good
yeah, thanks
stuff.
for watching, everyone.
Thank you for watching. We love